Okay, so I'm going to try shooting this video in AVI using the AVeriMedia software. We'll see how that comes out versus Camtasia. Text Prep Video 1 was shot in Camtasia. This one's going to be shot in AVI. So let's take a look at number 1. Okay, so you'll notice the first thing they asked you was which of the following contains the points 1, -1, and 3, 3. Well, the easiest thing to do is to plot the points. So you go x is 1 and -1, and then you're going to do 3, 3, and you are looking to find a point that is collinear. I'm going to see if I can do it here. No, I don't. Alright, so we'll just use our handy dandy ID card. So take our handy dandy ID card, draw the line, and then we start looking for points on that line. Well, if we go to where x is 4 and y is 2, that's clearly not on the line. Where x is 2 and y is 4, also not on the line. Where x is 2 and y is 1 is on the line. And where x is 1 and y is 2, clearly not on the line. So that was fun. Let's turn our attention to the next one. Okay. So in the figure below, circle M, R is the intersection point, and we're trying to find the length from L to T. Now, both of these are special right triangles because this side is the same as this side, and with your special right triangles, you have x, x, and this is actually x root 2. So to find x, you just remove the square root of 2, so the point LM is 2, which means this is 2 as well. So from L to P, you have 4. This one is a special right triangle as well, except now x root, or rather y root 2 is equal to 5. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take 5 and divide that by the square root of 2. And that gives you 3.53. You multiply that by 2. So that's 3.53, and of course there are 2 of those. So you're going to double that, and then you're going to add 4. And so it said which of the following is closest. 11.07, of course. We round to 11. So the correct response is B. Number 3, you were being asked to find the net. And so you want to look closely at each character and what's adjacent to it. If I look at R here, T is not adjacent to it, so I can eliminate it. If I look at B, at choice B, A, L might be adjacent to it, but really isn't, and T certainly is not. So A is not adjacent to T in the original picture. Now if I look at B, L and T are both next to it in choice C. See, here's L, here's T, here's L, here's T. So the correct response actually was C. So that was fun. Okay, and now on to the next one. You're looking for a triangle that is congruent. If you look at choice A, here we have x is 3 and -1. X is 2 and -3, and x is 6 and -3 as well. This creates a triangle that is congruent. It is a reflection, and none of the other points do that. Okay, the next one was a little bit more complicated. Notice that you were looking for the length of MQ and RP. Okay. So they gave you 2 equations with 2 unknowns. One of the things you had to remember is that this diagonal is the same length as this diagonal, that when you bisect parallelograms, the lengths are the same. So you have 2x plus 3 is equal to 3x plus 1. So you just solve for x. So you're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So you have x plus 1 is equal to 3, or rather that x is equal to 2. Now, x being equal to 2 doesn't help you that much. So you're now going to substitute it in. So I'm just going to say 2 times 2 plus 3 Well, of course, that's 7, which means that m to q is 14. So I already know that mq is 14, and now I can eliminate my other answer choices. This is wrong, this is wrong, D is wrong. And so the only one where mq is 14 is C. Now if I wanted to be thorough, I could have done the same thing for RP, but time is a constraint and I've successfully eliminated the other wrong answer choices. Okay, next one. You have an octagon. Remember, the sum of the angles will add up to 360. So 360 divided by 8 is equal to 45. So every 45-degree turn on the center is basically 1 click. So I'm turning it 90 degrees, or rather 2 clicks clockwise and then 1 click counterclockwise. And so really, you're looking at the points where you have a net change of 1 click, if you will. So if I'm going from T to U, that's possible. But I'm going to eliminate my other choices. S to V is too far. That's 2 clicks. That's too many clicks. W to V is counterclockwise. Right? Z to W is too far. So the only one that works is A. Number 7 requires you to have a pretty good, firm understanding of geometry. There are 2 facts that you have to have. One is that the measure of angle J and the measure of angle L plus the measure of J and L, those all add up to 180. Okay? So this angle plus these other 2 add up to 180. But the other thing is that this whole arc right here is 180. So the measure of angle JNP plus JNL is already equal to 180. So statement A is clearly false. The measure of angle NJL plus 57 is equal to the measure of angle JNP. That might actually be true. NJL, that's measure of angle J, plus 57 is this one, right? Plus this interior angle does equal 180, which is the same as this whole thing minus 180, so that's a strong possibility. JNP equals 57, we have no basis in fact on that. JNL plus 57 does not equal to JNP. So by process of elimination, we've arrived that B is the correct response. Okay. Number 8 is a little bit more fun. Basically, you have the area of the regular polygon is 72 inches, and you're being asked to find one side. Now this is an equilateral triangle, but in this case, we're going to cut it in half. We're going to strike an altitude, and so this just became 30 degrees. Now, 72 is the long end. This is half of 72, which is 36. And this altitude is, the area is 72, my bad. So here's x, here's 1/2 of x, and this is 1/2 of x times the square root of 3, because this makes a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we have half of x times half of x root 3 is equal to 72. So this is actually 1/4 of x squared times the square root of 3 is equal to 72. So now we're going to multiply, and basically we're taking this part and flipping it over and turning it into a rectangle. That way we don't have to deal with the 1/2 base times height. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take 72, we're going to multiply it by 4. That's going to give us 288. And so that's x squared root 3 is 288. And now we're going to divide that by the square root of 3. And so that's 166.27. To solve for x, you need to take the square root of the previous response. And so you get 12.89, which rounds up to 12.9. Okay, number 9, midpoint. You're going to add the coordinates and divide by 2. So here are my x coordinates. So I have 4 plus a negative 15 divided by 2. And then I'm going to have a negative 6.25 plus 12.25. Those are my y coordinates, divided by 2 as well. 15 minus 4 is negative 11 over 2. This, of course, is positive 6 over 2. Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And this is negative 5.5, which, of course, is choice A. Okay, last one. So here we've gone from 3 to 12. So basically, here's my first iteration. Started with 3. In my second iteration, I got to 12. My change in x was 1. My change in y was 4. Well, multiplying. This is actually an exponential. If I repeat the pattern, 12 times 4 is 48. And you didn't see any of that. Alright, let's scroll it up. Alright, to go each time, I was basically multiplying by 4. And so I extended the pattern to the next one, and of course 12 times 4 is 48. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay.